Right, what are we doing today then? Obviously talking about my masterpiece, Mr. Silver Fox Events. Entrepreneurs have various different drivers. There is money, there's power. Everyone has an ambition, but an ambition of what? And I think our ambition is to just succeed in the business that we are in, which sounds really easy and simple, but it's not. It's like we run events and we're only as good as our last job. It's the drive and ambition on the events that we deliver. And we are very, very passionate about how we deliver those. But you can only do this if you love your job. And I think all entrepreneurs will say that. First of all, you love your job. Once you love your job, you'll excel in that job and you want to become the best in the world at it. We started the early 90s. I think I started with my mum, a little lounge, our landline, and we didn't really have a desk, it was a dining table. Doing events and things, sort of moving it on. And as we went through the years of pain and torture and learning about the Asian wedding market, I think we ended up in sort of 2015 running a company called Silver Fox Events. Most of my clients are understated, wealthy entrepreneurs, and they do want the best of everything. They want amazing events, etc. But we don't really shout about that sort of stuff. And to be honest, most of our business is referral. So we're generally internally referraled all the time. So people we've been involved in are obviously high-profile individuals or entrepreneurs, and probably people you don't even know. Just people who want some amazing events for their, or weddings for their daughters or grooms or, sons. But there are a few that have been out in the, in the sort of media, like in Hello and stuff. Like we did Amir Khan's wedding. I'm not mentioning that because it's Amir Khan, he's an amazing character, but we had like 3,000 people there, we had 25 supercars and helicopter landings, and it was just a fantastic gig. I felt like Jack Bauer for a bit, talking to the helicopter man. But there's a lot of really fun stuff that went on. And like one of my favorite clients is being a Patek, Patek Spices, amazing individual, and it's really funny how we've ran a lot of weddings for big food distributors in the UK and across Europe. But really, there's not much to mention about the clientele that we work for. They're just fantastic entrepreneurs like we all are. They've worked hard, they want a fantastic event, and they just don't want any mistakes. Every event I love to bits, and we make sure we smash it and it's done correctly. With the destination events, primarily it's supplier language. So it's the suppliers who we're going to trust. Now, you can really mess up, can't you, with suppliers? So you've got to be really careful on the suppliers that you are going to get involved with. And then there's a language barrier. And we are part of this DWP now, which is the Destination Wedding Planners Association. We're part of the top 100 planners in the world. But we all gather once a year and we share information for different countries. And I'd say to any planner or anybody doing anything anywhere, get joint planners, get a planner here who can help you on your side, and get a planner in Timbuktu to help you on that side with the language and they understand it, and then together you'll have a perfect event. Trending, I think really it's got to be on numbers and we talked about this at the big fat Asian wedding program we did about multi-faith weddings. So when the brown guy was marrying the white guy, that was all a bit weird, 20-30 years ago. We got used to it. But now when we've got like sort of Sikh guys marrying Bengali guys, or a Pakistani guy marrying a Hindu Punjabi guy, this is becoming really complicated. That's happening, so the multi-faith stuff's happening, so brown are marrying brown, all from different cultures and backgrounds, but the numbers are also dropping tremendously, and we're not dealing with Uncle G anymore, we're dealing with like a little techie from, Linklaters who's on his email and he wants to run his wedding. It used to be a bride, now it's not. So your generational gap's changed, and also the complications on weddings is ridiculous. And then you put the Western influences into this, because we have so many different things that happen in England on events, that these lawyers, who are brown lawyers but are going to their Western events and see stuff they love, they want to implement that in their Asian wedding, which doesn't really fit into culture and food and dynamics and alcohol. So the whole thing's just really complicated right now. If you look at the top three things that you would look at, if you're going to throw a good event, I think you need to be very comfortable in the venue or the location you choose. they need to be a little bit adaptable to you. You need to either know the planner well who's organising events there, or know the venue you well yourself, because things do change and you need a good team around you. I think getting a great event planner is also very, very useful. I mean, the Silver Fox will jump into that anytime you want to. But no, seriously, getting like a good planner, someone who you trust, who can deliver, who's had good referrals and has been, consistently delivering good events. Because there are a lot of young planners out there, and I'm not saying that they're not good at their job, but if they're 10, 20 years traded, then obviously you've had a lot of experiences, you've had a lot of problems you've overcome. It's all about contingency at the end of the day. So I think getting a great place in a venue and making your guests accessible to that venue and taking them back out again so there's no headache, that's really important for the guests and for yourself. And then getting a good planner. I think it's imperative now that you get planners and get someone to help you putting this event together. And I think the third most important thing is sort of nailing the food and beverage side of stuff. A lot of people spend a lot of money on lighting and bands and this singer coming in and Rihanna's going to do a set and this, that, and the other. But you've got to nail the core things on an Asian wedding, which is food and drinks. And whether you're Muslim and it's beautiful soft drinks and cocktails and non-alcoholic cocktails or watermelon juices and amazing food, but the food needs to be hot and served correctly and to the right taste for your market. I think the funnest and the most challenging I've had is taking 250 people to Ibiza for 24 hours. 2 planes, Manchester to London, landing in Ibiza, pool party, hair and makeup, massive event of the night, brunch the next day, and flying them back again. And we didn't sleep. So that whole 24 hours and the planning that we did for that was incredible. I don't think I'll ever forget that. Relaxing is an art. And I think, again, entrepreneurs need to learn this and educate themselves to do this. And the biggest single thing right now is your phone. And I think if you want to spend quality times with your family and kids, you've got to switch your phone off. I think you need that peace time on your phone. Richard Branson said, and I read it about 4 or 5 years ago, I can't remember the quote. It was, control your phone and don't let your phone control you. And it was a really valid thing he said about 5 or 6 years ago. And I think if you can switch your phone off, that's again, back to your pie chart, that's your business gone for just a couple of hours and you can concentrate on your kids. What was the question? I think health is probably the most important thing. Unfortunately, I lost my mum 12 months ago and it was in the Philippines. She got some superbug and she died. And I was in ICU unit in Manila for about 3 months on my own with my dad. And it was a really tricky time and I wanted to get my mum off of bed because most entrepreneurs in the world succeed in what they're doing. They're positive and we have no negativity in our life whatsoever. We are going to deliver and we're going to make sure that this happens. I was going to get my mum off that bed. I didn't succeed and she did die. And it was a massive confidence smack in the mouth for me. But unfortunately, these things happen in life, and it was her, whatever, destiny to go. So our MD of our companies died and gone. But what I learned from that is that life is so precious and so short, and I think we should just try and make the most of it. Yeah, we want to really succeed in business and do well, but there's so many other pleasures that we miss out on. And I think, unfortunately, it took my mum's death for me to realize that, but now every day is really important to share it out between family and business. And I just think my life lesson would be to just take a look at your diary over the next 12 months and pie chart how much work you're going to do, how much time you're going to spend with your kids, when you're going to take your wife away on her own without your kids because she needs that, and also when you're going to look after your parents if you've got some, and family, etc. And pie chart it. And I think if each sector becomes equidistant, I think you're heading in the right direction.